Attention, duelists. It is Monday, so of course I'm going to be starting your week off right with another watch and learn stream. But before we get into the watching and the learning, we have a update to the Forbidden and Limited list that is coming. It is expected to be implemented on October 28th. Cards that are moving to semi-limited are Sword Soul Strategist Long Yuan, Branded Opening, and Floowandereeze, and the Magnificent Map. I am fully okay with all of these changes. I hate Long Yuan because of how easy he allows Sword Soul to go into either Baron or Supreme Sovereign. Branded Opening, it going to 1, I don't think makes as much of a difference because branded cards can still be searched out through Aliber, which is still at 3. But with it being reduced, it will make it less likely for a branded player to open with the perfect hand. And any limitation on Floowandereeze, Floodgate Supreme is great. Love to see it. Now, there are cards that are having their number of limited copies will be lifted. Will be Prank Kids Roxy's, Skystriker Mecha Widow Anchor, the Phantom Knights of Torn Scales, and Virtual World Roshi Lao Lao. I don't think any of these changes are going to be as impactful as others. Widow Anchor is the one that I would expect to have the most of a difference because Sky Striker of these decks is the one that I personally encounter the most. Prank Kids, I rarely ever see. PK Fire, they're still kicking around, and Virtual World Lao Lao. It's an extra card for Virtual World, but I don't think they're really struggling for anything right now. Naturally, there will be dismantling bonuses for all these cards for about a month after this change is implemented. And that is your ban list adjustment. Nothing is becoming forbidden, though, or being limited to 1. So, not huge changes, but a few. And now with your news breakdown completed, let's get into the games. Alright. We have a player playing Crusadia, and their opponent playing Salamangreat. Opponent activates Salamangreat Circle, and it will be hit by an Ash Blossom, but that Ash Blossom will be hit by a Called By. So Salamangreat Circle will resolve to add a Salamangreat from deck to hand. Adding Gazelle. Player will summon Gazelle, and it will send away Spinny to the graveyard. Then it will link itself off for Balinx. Balinx will add Sanctuary to hand. Player activates Will of the Salamangreat. During your main phase, you can special summon a Salamangreat monster from your hand or graveyard. You can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard to target Salamangreat Link monster you control that was link summoned using a monster with its same name as material. Special summon Salamangreat monsters from your hand or graveyards in defensive position up to the number of that monster's link rating. You can only use each Will of the Salamander effect once per turn. The first thing that happens is it revives Spinny, and then Spinny and Balinx are going to link together to make the Sunlight Wolf. Player will then activate Salamangreat Sanctuary. Spinny will summon itself, using its own effect of having another Salamangreat in the graveyard. Then Sunlight Wolf's effect will activate for having a monster summoned to a zone that it points to, which adds Gazelle back to hand. The Salad player ends their turn. Crusadia player's turn. They summon Reclusia and will link it off into Magius. Then they will use the effect of the Reclusia in their hand to special summon Reclusia to the zone that Magius points to. An Effect Veiler will go off to negate Magius' effect, but the player will drop a Called By on that Effect Veiler, allowing Magius to resolve. Magius' effect will add a Crusadia monster from deck to hand. And he adds Maximus. Magus and Reclusia are going to link together, make Regulex. Then the Leonis will summon itself to the zone Regulex points to, and then those two will link together after he adds Crusadia Revival to his hand, and they will make Equimax. Then Maximus will summon itself to the zone that Equimax points to, and he'll activate Crusadia Revival. Equimax gains an extra 500 attack points, and once per turn you can target a Crusadia Link monster you control. This turn it can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack. He then goes on to use Maximus's effect, target a Crusadia Link monster you control, and if it battles an opponent's monster and the battle damage it inflicts is doubled. He will set one. Equimax will swing into Sunlight Wolf, and him saving the Sunlight Wolf with the Bailings, which is kind of a surprise. And also weird is the player did not use Equimax to run over Spinny. Potential misplay. Passes turn to the Salad player. They summon Gazelle. Gazelle will send away a Foxy. He'll activate Side Knot Mining, pitching his Max C to add a Spinny to his hand. The Foxy in the grave will pitch the Spinny from hand to summon itself and destroy his opponent's field spell. Then Foxy and Gazelle are going to link together to make Update Jammer. I think we have an access code talker coming. Spinny and Sunlight Wolf are going to link together to make Transcode Talker. Not using Transcode Talker's effect to summon a monster, but he will go into the access code talker. Access code will target Update Jammer for its stat boost, not the Transcode Talker, so it will not be a 5300. Player will activate Crusadia Crawler. And Equimax will activate its effect, attributing a Crusadia monster it points to target physical card your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of this turn. That could be big. Crawler is summoned to Equimax's zone. Access code talker is negated. Crawler will add a card to hand. Will of the Salamangrate will resummon Gazelle, and then Spinny will be resummoned because Gazelle was summoned. Those two will link together to make Splash Mage. Splash Mage uses its effect to resummon Foxy. Then Foxy and Splash Mage will make Decode Talker Heat Soul. Heat Soul will pay 1,000 to draw a card. Then Heat Soul will run over Equimax. And Access Code Talker will run over Crawler. Access Code Talker can still attack twice thanks to Update Jammer, and it will attack directly. Passes to the Crusadia player, who draws Parallel Exceed for turn. Player will use Heat Soul's effect to pay 1,000 and draw a card. Then apply the effect to banish this card and special summon a Link 3 or lower Cyberse monster from the extra deck, making Linkuriboh. Player activates World Legacy Succession, and summons Equimax, which points at the access code. Then from there, we'll go into Magius. Parallel Exceed will summon itself to the zone Magius points to. I'll say its name consistently someday. Their effects will both trigger. Exceed summons out another Exceed. Magius brings Draco to hand. Player uses Draco's effect to summon itself to the zone access code points to and re-add Reclusia to hand. And then the player drops a Nibiru on the entire board. That may have been a misplay because he did just make a big token and get rid of his own access code talker and Linkuriboh. Player summons Reclusia and then uses it to make Almirage. Player uses Will of the Salamangrate to summon back Gazelle. Gazelle will send Rage to the graveyard and he will normal summon a Jack Jaguar. Then Gazelle and Jack Jaguar will link together to make Sunlight Wolf. Salamangrate Sanctuary will allow him to use Sunlight Wolf to make another Sunlight Wolf with itself as its only material. Then Sunlight Wolf will use its effect to add the Rage back to his hand, which he will set. Wolf will attempt to swing over Almirage. Almirage will tribute itself to give protections to the Primal Being token. And with the Salamangreat Rage, that is going to be able to get rid of the token. He's going to activate it, target the Sunlight Wolf, and be able to destroy up to 2 cards, which is going to be the token. The Crusadia player has to pass. They drew their 3rd Parallel Exceed. Shadow player activates Salamangreat Circle, adds a Spinny to hand, uses Spinny's effect, pitching itself to buff up the Wolf. Will of the Salamander will bring back Gazelle again, which will send away a Jack Jaguar. Wolf will swing direct, and as will the Nibiru for game. Salamangreat beats Crusadia. That was a pretty good match. A lot of back and forth. I'm of the mind that the Crusadia player misplayed by not just running their Equimax over the Access Code Talker and made a lot of greed plays. Now what do we have here? We have Fire Formations, we have Gladiator Beast, we have Maiden with Eyes of Blue, and we have Bashing Shield. Looking at the extra deck, I want to say it's rank 8 Turbo, but I'm not quite sure. His opponent will activate Supply Squad, set 2 and pass. He draws Backup Rider for turn, summons Maiden with Eyes of Blue, equips her with Bashing Shield. Her effect will activate in response when she is targeted to summon out a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Bashing Shield will give her 1,000 attack points. He'll activate Fire Formation Tenki, which will let him add Gladiator Beast Darius to hand. 1 second, I have something in my eye. That was annoying. He'll also set his Mirror Force. Move to battle phase, Blue Eyes will swing direct for 3,000, and the Maiden for 1,000. A more established board than most Blue Eyes decks. His opponent's turn, he activates Harpy's Feather Duster, sweeping up his opponent's back row. Supply Squad player then sets another card and passes. Player draws Chaos Max Dragon, activates Backup Rider, targeting Maiden with Eyes of Blue, which allows her to summon another Blue Eyes White Dragon, and also gives her 1,500 attack points. A Blue Eyes swings for 3,000, another one will attempt to swing, and then his opponent will hit it with the Forbidden Chalice, and it will still swing for game. It's rare enough to see a Blue Eyes deck win, let alone like that, but he did it. We have a Numeron player. His opponent summons Tour Guide, and he will shotgun the Imperm into it. Tour Guide player sets 1 more back row and passes. Player activates Magical Mallet, sending back 2. Activates Pot of Desires, milling 10, drawing 2. Activates another Mallet, sending back 4. Summons Planet Pathfinder, uses its effect, tributing itself to add Numeron Network to hand. Activates Numeron Network. Network will send away Numeron Calling to bring out the 4 gates. Moving into battle, Gate 4 swings into the Tour Guide, buffs all the gates. Gate 3, 2, and 1 will all swing. Then he will link the 4 gates off to make Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avramax. His opponent activates a Bottomless Trap Hole, which will banish the Avramax, and passes. Duelist A activates Harpy's Feather Duster, sweeping up the field spell and the set droplet. Player summons Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and uses Malabranch's effect to summon itself. They will overlay into Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. Dante will attach a unit to send cards to the graveyard. Graph, Malabranch, and Fiendish Rhino Warrior will activate their effects. Rhino Warrior will send another card, and Graph will summon out a Barbar. Dante and Barbar will both swing direct. After attacking, Dante moves to defense mode. The Farfa that was sent to the Scarm that was sent to the graveyard will add a card to hand, which was a Seer Malabranch. Duelist B draws return, activates Pot of Desires, and then passes turn. Checking the cards that are banished. Yes, he has banished 2 of his 3 Numeron callings. He no longer has his main strategy. Player uses Dante's effect again, milling 3 to give him 1500 attack points. Scarm is summoned by the effect of Seer Malabranch. Dante moves to attack, swings direct for 25. Numeron player summons Numeron Wall after being hit directly. Burning Abyss player turns all their monsters to defense mode, drops a Raigeki on his opponent's Numeron Wall, then uses Barbar and Scarm to make Livier the Sea Dragon. Then both of his monsters are going to overlay to make F-Zero Utopic Future. Barbar will target Seer, Scarm. Hang on a tick. Barbar's effect will activate from being sent to the graveyard, targeting Scarm, Seer, and Farfa. It will banish the 3 of them and then deal 900 points of damage to the opponent. Oddly enough, the player is stopping at F-Zero and not going for Draco Future. He activates Lightning Storm, which F-Zero will protect itself by detaching Dante. Dante, for being detached, will add Barbar back to hand. Numeron player sets a Planet Pathfinder in defense and passes. Main phase 1, player summons Barbar. Barbar will banish 2 and deal 600 for game. Burning Abyss beats Numeron. So far, I'm impressed by all 3 of these matches, if for nothing else than their originality. Also the back and forth in the first one. We have a Tri-Brigade Melfi player with Light Force Sword. The opponent activates Solar Recharge, pitching Jane the Lightsworn Paladin, and they will hit an Ash Blossom on the charge to prevent them from drawing. Player summons Lumina. She will pitch an Imperm to resummon Jane. Then both of them are going to link together to make Lina the Light Charmer Lustrous. Then end turn. Not great. Player draws Melfi Puppy. Uses Caress's effect to pitch Fabled Kerberoll. Kerberoll, for being discarded, will summon itself back. Player then normal summons Puppy. Kerberoll and Caress are going to sync together to make Fabled Unicorn. Unicorn will run over Lina. Lina's effect will be negated by Fabled Unicorn. Because both players have the same number of cards in hand. Player uses... Sorry, let me just wind that back. Melfi Puppy attacked, and during the end phase, he activated the effect of Melfi Caddy to special summon itself. Then he used Light Force Sword during his opponent's draw phase to get rid of one of his cards. His opponent passes his turn. Player draws for turn, drawing Melfi Puppy. He's going to use Puppy and Caddy to make Melfi of the Forest. Melfi will detach a unit to add Melfi Hide and Seek to hand, which he will activate. Hide and Seek will target Caress, Caddy, and Kerberoll, and send them all back to the deck, allowing him to draw one, which is Tri-Brigade Kit. Kit will then swing direct, as will Fabled Unicorn. During the end phase, Puppy will summon itself. Player summons Lumina Lightsworn, and Puppy will use its effect when a monster was summoned to tag out for the Fabled Abank. That's a funny looking dude. Lumina, Twilight's Orange Shaman, will then be linked off to make All Mirage. And they end turn. The Fabled Melfi is firmly in control of this game. They're going to use a Bonk and Kit as material to link summon Cross Sheep. Kit, for being sent, will send Karas. Melfi of the Forest will detach a unit to add a Melfi Puppy to hand. Melfi Hide and Seek will target Karas, Kit, and Puppy in the deck, send them in the graveyard, send them all back, and add the Fabled Nozuchi to hand. Nozuchi will be discarded to summon out a Bonk. Then a Bonk and Puppy are going to overlay for number 29, Mannequin Cat. Cat will detach one unit to summon to their opponent's field the Lumina Lightsworn Summoner. Then an effect of Mannequin Cat will activate, which I'm going to read this now. Rank 2 XZs requiring 2 level 2s. Once per turn, attach a unit. Target one monster opponent's graveyard is supposed to summon it to their field. If a monster is supposed to summon to your opponent's field while you control this monster, target one face monster your opponent controls, special one monster with the same type or attribute from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. Player will then use All Mirage's effect, setting it away to add protections onto Lumina. Mannequin Cat will resummon the Fabled Nozuchi. Mannequin Cat will run over Lumina. Unicorn will hit directly, and Cross Sheep will also go direct for game. That was a weird looking deck. Neat. Alright, Salamandrate player from the perspective of the Salamandrate. They summon Flame Buffalo. They're going to use that to make Balings. Balings, this effect will activate, and Buffalo will chain. As will Salamandrate Fowl. Fowl will summon itself. Buffalo will pitch Spinny and draw 2, and Balings will add Sanctuary to hand. Sanctuary will activate. Then Fowl and Balings will make Sunlight Wolf. Spinny's effect will activate in the graveyard, summoning itself. Sunlight Wolf will be able to re-add Salamandrate Fowl to hand. Then Wolf and Spinny are going to link together to make Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker will summon the Sunlight Wolf back to the zone it points to. And now he has 2 monsters with 2800 and 23 respectively who cannot be targeted with card effects. Not the worst board, not the best. His opponent activates Dark Hole. Balings will detach itself to protect Sunlight, will banish itself to protect Sunlight Wolf. Then the player will activate Lightning Storm, targeting all attack position monsters, and activate Reload as a chain too. Reload will send back 3 to draw 3. Lightning Storm will get rid of the wolf, and then Duel 3 will pass turn. I'd say the Salamander player is still in a great spot. He activates Circle, adding Gazelle to hand. Summons Buffalo, sends it away for another Balings. This looks familiar. Buffalo's effect will activate, as will Fowl. This is very familiar. Fowl summons itself. Buffalo pitches another Spinny to draw 2. Gazelle will summon itself and send away Jack Jaguar. Player moves into battle, swings with Gazelle, Fowl, and Balings for combined 38. Then Balings and Gazelle are going to link together to make Sunlight Wolf again. Jack Jaguar's effect in the graveyard will return the other Sunlight Wolf to the extra deck to summon itself, and Sunlight Wolf will re-add Gazelle to hand. Pass it to the opponent. They activate Raigeki. Balings will banish itself again to protect all of them. He activates Dark Hole again. Then activates a Bingo Machine Go, revealing 3 Rage with Eyes of Blue. He then activates it. Salamander player activates Maxi in response. Rage with Eyes of Blue will summon 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Moving into battle, Blue Eyes will swing direct, as will the second and the third. Two Dark Holes, a Raigeki, and a Lightning Storm. All for a Blue Eyes Oko. Well, OTK, not Oko. We're seeing some weird ones today. Alright, we have a Goki deck. His opponent activates Strike Striker Mecha Modules and Reinforcement of the Army, adding Rose to hand. He summons Ray, sets 2 back row. Ray was summoned, so Rose will summon herself. Ray will tribute herself to bring out Shizuku. Shizuku will add a Mobilize Engage to hand. And they pass. Player activates Small World, revealing Fire Flint Lady, getting rid of his Twist Cobra, and adding a Goki Suprex to hand. What were all the overlays? Guess the only overlay is Warrior. Sets 3 summons Goki Suprex. Suprex will bring out the Headbat. They'll both link together to make Hell Ogre. I'm amazed we just got away with just putting... Sorry. Heal Ogre. I take back my comment. I was about to say there's no way in hell they got away with having a word hell in a card name. Headbat and Suprex's effect are going to activate, going to the graveyard. Adds a Goki Rematch to hand, and a Rescorpio. Activates Goki Rematch, targeting Headbat and Suprex, who both get brought out to the field. Heal Ogre and Headbat are going to link together to make Thunder Ogre. This will allow him to summon his Rescorpio. Then Rescorpio and Thunder Ogre are going to link together to make Goki the Master Ogre. What do you do? Requires 2 Goki monsters, it's only 4. Once per turn, quick effect. Return to the hand any number of Goki monsters you control this card points to. Then target the same number of face-up cards your opponent controls. They have their effects negated until the end of this turn. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If your opponent controls a face-up monster, this card can only target their monsters with the highest attack 4 attacks. Your choice if tied. So it does have to punch its way down the order. It'll add a Goki finishing move to the effect thanks to Rescorpio, and he'll activate it. It will gain attack equal to its link rating times 1000 until the end of this turn, and it gains piercing damage. It can only attack with Goki monsters for the rest of this turn. It is now a 6700 attack point monster. It'll swing over Rose, doing 5200, and then over Shizuku. That was nuts. Are you kidding me? I don't think I've ever seen anyone play Goki in Master Duel, at least not personally, and this guy popped off. This gives me ideas. Terrible ideas. We have a Live Twin Unchained player. His opponent's playing Salamangreat. Summons Jack Jaguar. Shotguns a Maxi, which will be countered by an Ash Blossom. Jack Jaguar will turn into Balinx. Balinx to add a Sanctuary. Spinny will pitch itself to buff up Balinx, and then summon itself back. Then the two of them will link together into Sunlight Wolf. Player activates Sanctuary, sets 1, and passes. Player activates Trouble Sunny. Sorry, Sunny Snitch to add Lil La to hand. Summons Lil La. His opponent will activate Max C, which he will activate his own Ash Blossom in response to. And then player will activate Infinite Impermanence, targeting the Lil La, so it will not get its summon off. He will set one card, which is Escape of the Unchained, and pass. Salamangreat player sets one. Lil La makes him pay 500 to attack, but the attack does go through. Passes turn to the Live Twin player. They draw for turn, drawing Abominable Unchained Souls. They summon Kiss a Kill, attempt to use its effect, but they will activate Salamangreat Rage in response. Kiss a Kill will summon out Lil La, and then she is brought out without a Kiss a Kill on board, so her effect will activate. Or without any other monster on board, I should say. Abominable Unchained Souls is summoned, as is a Kiss a Kill Frost. Unchained Souls will pitch one to destroy the opponent's field spell. Then the twins will make Evil Twin Kiss a Kill. She will use her effect to bring back Lil La, and those two will then link together, making Evil Twin Lil La. Lil La will then bring back Kiss a Kill, which will allow him to draw one. Then both twins will link together to make Trouble Sunny. Moving into battle, the Unchained Soul will swing, as will the Trouble Sunny. Then he'll use Trouble Sunny's effect, sending it to the graveyard to summon back both twins. Lil La will pop his own Unchained, or Escape of the Unchained, which will summon out an Unchained Twin Sarama. But it doesn't matter because both twins will swing or game. Not the most exceptional play from the Salad player. Seeing this player, looks like they are Tri-Brigade with a little bit of weird put in there from the Fantastical Phantasme. Nice Royal Rare DD Crow. He will summon Kit, and will then link her off to make All Mirage. Kit's effect will activate, sending away Nerval. Nerval's effect will activate to add Fractail to hand. Player then ends turn. Opponent's turn. Opponent summons Dues of the Meteor Cubic, which will send Cubic Karma to the graveyard. Cubic Karma will banish itself to add Crimson Nova to the hand. He will then reveal 3 different Cubic cards in hand. He will be able to summon the Nova. Moving into battle, Nova will swing over All Mirage for 3,000. Then Nova will swing again, and Duza will swing directly for 1,600. During the end phase, Nova will hit both players for 3,000 damage and end it. Cubic player wins. Good for them. Those guys could use a win. Ooh, Gravekeepers. Activates Terraforming, getting Necro Valley to hand. Activates it. Then activates Necro Valley Throne to add Gravekeeper's Spiritualist to hand. Spiritualist will then summon itself and then fuse with Commandant in the hand to make Gravekeeper's Supernaturalist. Supernaturalist will gain stats. He sets a Solemn Judgment, is able to add a Hidden Temples of Necro Valley to hand, passes to the opponent. The opponent activates Lightning Storm. Necro Valley is protected by Spiritualist, so it is not destroyed, and all it's lost is the Solemn Judgment. Opponent activates Fire Formation Tenki, which adds a Zodiac Thoroughblade to hand. Summons Thoroughblade, and then uses it as single material to make Zodiac Dryden. Dryden will then detach its material an attempt to destroy Supernaturalist, but is unable to resolve. What's protecting you? Gains attack defense equal to the combined levels of materials used for fusions and one active values on the field. This card and any card. It can't be destroyed either. That's why you're protected. Player will then turn Dryden into Borbo. Borbo will swing direct for 1300. Main phase 2. He will make Zeus using Borbo. He'll then use Zeus to send away all cards. Zodiac player is definitely misplaying or has a worse extra deck than I thought, because he made a Zeus that only has one extra material, so it only had one use of its effect. Player will set Hidden Temples and Starlight Road and pass. Player summons Kit. Kit will banish some cards to summon out Rugal. Then Rugal and Kit are going to make Access Code Talker. He is just going to go for the finish. Access Code will attempt to gain 3,000, targeting Rugal, and Kit's effect will activate to send Nerval. All effects resolve. Nerval will add a Karas to hand. Karas will pitch a Nerval to summon itself. Access Code will detach one to pop one back row. Player swings with Karas, Access Code, and Zeus. Sad to say, the Gravekeepers did not have the gas they needed. Sword Soul. Hope they lose. Summons Moye. Reveals Sword Soul Emergence. Gets hit with an Imperm. Good for you. Moye does not get to summon a token. Sword Soul player has to end their turn. Opponent activates Pot of Desires, banishing 10. Gets hit with the Ash Blossom. Player summons Ecclesia. Uses her effect to tribute herself to summon. Player activates Maxine Response, which will resolve. Brings out Moye. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Moye will reveal a Moye. Summon the token. Makes Chishao. Chishao's effect and Moye will activate. Draws one, adds an emergence to hand. Activates the emergence, adding Long Wan. Long Wan's effect will activate, pitching Moye to summon itself in a token. Makes Baron de Fleur. Long Wan will use its effect to deal damage. Long Wan will pop. Player normal summons Taya, finally doing a normal summon. Swings with all of his monsters for game. In the battle of Sword Soul versus Sword Soul, we all lose. Ooh, Ancient Warriors. Play summons Ancient Warriors, Masterful Sun Mo. Actually have to stop and read things. Sun Mo's effect will activate, sending away Valiant Zhang De. And doing that allows him to add another Ancient Warrior to his hand. In this case, it is Ingenious Zhuge Kong's effect will activate, allowing it to summon itself. If it was added to the hand by the effect of an Ancient Warriors, it can special summon itself, which it did. Then both will link together and make Ancient Warriors Oath Double Dragon Lords. Dragon Lord's effect will activate, adding a Rebellious Lu Feng to hand. Lu Feng will summon itself by its effect of controlling the highest attack Ancient Warriors monster on the field. I feel like that's a very easy condition to meet when you're playing Ancient Warriors and no one else does. As a quick effect, during the main phase, you can destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. Also, you can't activate monster effects that turn the activate effect except Ancient Warriors monsters. During the end phase, if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack on the field, give control of this card to your opponent. Interesting. And double Dragon Lords can pitch one to bounce. Passes to the opponent. He will tribute Rebellious Lu Feng for Gamma Seal. Then he will summon his own Lady Debug. Lady Debug will be hit by Ash Blossom. Not going to add a card today. He'll then special summon a Cyber's Converter, and that and Lady Debug will link together to make Splash Mage. He's going for access code. Ancient Warriors will send itself away to bounce the Splash Mage. Smart. Moving into battle, player swings with the given Gamma Seal and passes. He sets one card, so now he has 2 Imperms down. Passes the opponent. Opponent summons Dotscaper and links it off into Linkuriboh. Dotscaper will attempt to use its effect to summon itself back to the field, but will get hit by a Called By. Cyber's player ends their turn with just a Linkuriboh. Passes the opponent and draws a Max C. Moving into battle, Gamma Seal will attempt to swing over Linkuriboh, but will tribute itself to make Gamma Seal's attack 0 for the end of the turn. Then passes. Back to the Cyber's player. They set one, use Linkuriboh's effect to tribute that monster. Player activates Max C in response. Opponent will Ash Blossom in response to the Max C. Linkuriboh does get summoned to the field, and then passes turn. Player draws Loyal Guanyun. Swings with Gamma Seal. Second verse, same as the first. Linkuriboh will tribute itself. Passes turn to the opponent. Cyrus player summons Stack Reviver. And it passes. Player draws a second Loyal Guanyun. Guanyun, should say. Gamma Seal swings over the Stack Reviver. Passes turn. Player activates Raigeki, finally getting rid of the Gamma Seal. Then summons Code Generator and swings direct for 13. Passes turn. Back to the Ancient Warriors player who draws Crossout Designator. Loyal Guanyun will use its effect to summon itself. Let's block that real quick. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Your opponent cannot target other Ancient Warriors monsters with card effects. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. You can use each effect once per turn. So for now, it's just a nice 2500 body who swings over the Code Generator. He will then set Crossout Designator and pass. His opponent will set one and pass. Player draws Called by the Grave. Swings with Guanyun, which swings over an Ash Blossom. He will then set that Called By and pass. It's Cyber's player's turn. They activate Signet Optimization and pass. He only has 2,500 life points left, which is exactly Guanyun's attack. And he swings for game. I was hoping that match would be more exciting because you don't really see Ancient Warriors all too often, but unfortunately they just sort of negated each other into making it a slow match. Sky Striker player going up against someone who passed their entire turn. And they will do the same. Their opponent sets a monster and passes. They draw a Pot of Avarice. They set 1 Imperm and pass. The opponent flips of Ash Blossom, summons Kiskill Frost, special summons a little treat, and then uses them to make Evil Twin Kiskill. She would attempt to use her effect, but will be hit by an Imperm. Battle Phrase, Evil Twin Kiskill will swing direct. Sky Striker player draws a second Mobilize, or Mecha Modules, and they will use Kiskill's effect to summon Treat. Treat and Ash Blossom will then link together to make Nightmare Phoenix. Phoenix will use its effect, pitching 1 to target the Imperm and attempt to destroy it, but will be hit by an Effect Veiler itself. Player will attempt to use Kisakill's effect again to revive a Lila, but will be hit by Imperm once again. Player will chain a Live Twin home, pitching a Droll and Lockbird, but that will be hit by an Ash Blossom. At the end of the day, effects are negated. Player then activates Pot of Avarice, targeting 5 monsters in his grave, shuffling them back to draw 2. Summons Lil Blue Standard, and links that and Kisakill into Evil Twin Lil La. She will attempt to use her effect to summon Kisakill, but will in turn be hit by an Effect Veiler. Player will then link the Nightmare Phoenix and the Twin Blue into Trouble Sunny. He got to his boss monster anyway. Battle phase, Trouble Sunny swings direct, then will tribute itself to summon back the twins. Kisakill lets him draw a card. Swings with both of them. Main phase 2, he will relink them off for another Trouble Sunny. And he passes turn to the Sky Striker player. Well, it's kind of hard to argue that they're playing Sky Striker at this point. They activate Mecha Modules, and another one, set 1 card, and then use Mecha Modules to send it away, tribute the Trouble Sunny for Gamma Seal, and pass. Player moves to battle, swings with Gamma Seal for game. I hate to say it, folks, but I think we're seeing a severe drop in entertainment value from these matches. We got a Rocket player with a couple of rollerblades on the side. His opponent summons Marincess Spring Girl and will link her off to make Blue Slug. Slug's effect will target Spring Girl, and Spring Girl's effect will activate as well. Spring Girl's effect is... from Marincess card you control sent to the grave... Nope, that's not the one. If this card is sent to the graveyard from material of a link summon of a water monster, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, equal to the number of Marincess monsters you control. Then, if a Marincess card is sent to the graveyard, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each. And he milled a Signet Mining. Blue Slug will re-add Spring Girl to hand. Then it will use the effect of Silent Sea Nettle to summon itself by controlling a water monster. Then those two will link into Marincess Crystal Heart. Spring Girl's effect will activate, banishing the Blue Slug to summon herself. Then Spring Girl will be linked off to make Marincess Sea Angel. Sea Angel's effect will add Battle Ocean to hand, which will then be activated. Player then activates Marincess Dive, which will summon out Marincess Blue Tang from the deck because they have the Field Zone active. Blue Tang's effect will activate, sending a Seahorse to the graveyard. Then Blue Tang, Crystal Heart, and Sea Angel will link together to make Great Bubble Reef. Battle Ocean effect will activate, as will Blue Tang, being sent to the graveyard. Blue Tang will let him add Marincess Wave to his hand. Battle Ocean will equip the Great Bubble Reef with 2 Water Link monsters. During his opponent's standby phase, Great Bubble Reef will banish a card to increase its attack points by 600 until the end of the turn. His opponent summons Rocket Synchron and will link it off to make a Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon will add Boot Sector Launch to hand, which will then be activated and used to summon 2 rockets. And that's the Rocket and Auto Rocket. Auto Rocket and Striker will make Delingerous Dragon. And then the Striker Dragon player will end turn. Bubble Reef will, during the semi-phase, banish again to draw a card and gain 600. Great Bubble Reef will then use its effect, sending a water monster from hand to grave to special summon a banished Marincess monster, and it summons Blue Tang. Blue Tang's effect will send away another Seahorse. Silent Sea Nettle will summon itself. Blue Tang will then link off into another Sea Angel. Blue Tang's effect for being sent to the graveyard will activate, allowing him to look at the top 3 and add 1, adding another Blue Tang to his hand. Sea Angel will add Marincess Dive to hand. That activates Signet Mining, pitching Blue Tang to add Marincess Mandarin. Mandarin will reveal itself and summon itself to a zone of link monster points 2. Bubble Reef will swing over Delingerous. Rocket Recharger will pitch itself in response to Delingerous being destroyed. Descend itself and then special summon itself? Sure. Passes to the Rocket player. Bubble Reef will banish 1 to draw and gain 600. Recharger will be used to summon monsters, including Delingerous, and Abso Router will summon itself. And he goes into Borreload Dragon. Great Bubble Reef will activate its effect in response, as will Abso Router, and Borreload will chain, targeting Bubble Reef. Although I'm pretty sure that because it was summoned using Crystal Heart, yep, Great Bubble Reef is unaffected by card effects that are not its own, so the Borreload Dragon will do nothing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players don't read. Abso Router will allow the player to draw a card. Player activates Return of the Dragon Lords to resummon Abso Router. Summons another Rocket Dragon, which will link with the Anesta Rocket into Booster Dragon. Booster Dragon will boost up the Abso Router. Borreload will swing over Sea Angel, and Booster will swing over the Sea Nettle. Passes to the opponent. Bubble Reef will use its effect, banishing, and Borreload will use its effect to target Abso Router. Bubble Reef will gain stats, draw a card. Use Scriptron to banish a Blue Tang to summon itself. Bubble Reef will then activate in response. Hang on a tick. A lot just happened. It gained stats because another card was banished. Player will then activate Marincess Dive to summon Spring Girl. Then he will summon Pesculus, and it will link with Scriptron and Spring Girl. For Marbled Rock, Scriptron will return the card it banished to the graveyard. Sea Nettle will banish itself to return 3 water monsters to the deck, making Bubble Reef even bigger. Attempts to swing over Borreload, but will be protected by Return of the Dragon Lords. And then Marbled Rock will swing over the Booster Dragon, which, when destroyed, will summon Anesta Rocket. Rocket player draws return. Tributes 2 monsters to summon Double Disruptor Dragon. Borreload will then negate the effect of Marbled Rock. Player gets to add a Rocket Recharge to hand thanks to Abso Router. Uses his field spell to summon it. Double Disruptor will tribute itself to summon a Rocket Synchron and a Nesta Rocket. Rocket Synchron and a Nesta Rocket will then link together to make Mini Boral Dragon. Overload will swing over Marbled Rock, and he will pass turn. Bubble Reef will use its effect, banishing Scriptron. Overload will still attempt to target, and he will activate Link Turret. When this card is activated, place 4 counters on this card. Each time you take battle damage, place 1 counter on this card. During main phase 2, you can remove 1 counter from this card, target a rocket monster graveyard, special summon it, plus effect negate it, banish it when it leaves the field. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except Dark Link monsters the turn you activate this effect. Don't think that's going to help him. Bubble Reef goes up to 4,600. Moves straight to battle and swings over Mini Boral. And that is going to be the end of that. I feel like that match really dragged on a bit. I mean, credit to the Boral player, Rocket player, for not giving up. Hey, I know this deck. Player's playing Kyryu Shen. Activates Fish Sonar. Should have used Warrior of Atlantis first to get Legendary Ocean. Uses Jellyfish to send away Legendary Ocean to summon Kyryu Shen. Will add Sea Stealth attack. He will then set Sea Stealth and Evenly Matched and pass. Activate Sea Stealth attack to activate a Legendary Ocean. Opponent activates Raigeki. Jellyfish will use its effect to negate the Raigeki. Player then activates Signet Mining, pitching a Link in for Flyer to add Lady Debug to hand. He summons Lady Debug, who will add a Microcoder to hand, which is not a threat thanks to Kyryu Shen. Player activates Signet Codec, sets 1 and passes. Player uses Warrior of Atlantis, pitching it to add Legendary Ocean, should have done that earlier. Kyryu Shen will use its effect to add Sea Stealth 2 to hand, which he will activate, making his monsters untargetable by non-water effects. Sea Stealth will summon a Doom Kraken in defense, which is a waste because it's going to be destroyed. There it goes. Duel's B activates Monster Reborn. Electric Jellyfish will negate it. He will summon Microcoder, activate Called By, targeting Doom Kraken, just to play cards, I assume. Microcoder will slam its face against the Jellyfish. Pass it to the opponent. Kyryu Shen will add a Kyryu Shen's Dark Reef to hand. Then he'll swing with Kyryu Shen and Jellyfish for game. Kyryu Shen player did make misplays at the start, but it ultimately did not matter. Ooh, this guy's got numbers eval. His opponent summons Aliber, who adds Branded Fusion to hand. He'll then activate the Branded Fusion. Fusing Albaz with Effect Veiler to make Albion. I just want to check this guy's extra deck real quick. Yep, that is Rongo Miniad. Well, I'm worried. Albion will use its effect, fusing itself and the Albaz to make Mirror Jade. He then activates Polymerization, fusing the Despian Tragedy's hand with his Aliber to make Masquerade. Despian Tragedy will then add Dramaturge of Despia to hand. He will then activate Branded in Red, adding Aliber back to his hand, fusing it and the Dramaturge Make Despian Queritus. Dramaturge will then resummon itself, and he will pass turn. Not the strongest branded Despia board, but could have been worse. Player activates Dark Ruler no more. Then Upstart Goblin. Then Magical Mallet. Sending back 2. Activates Numbers Evale. Making Rongo Miniad. Rongo Miniad will swing into Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade will use its effect. Rongo Miniad will survive it. Pass it to the opponent. Despian Tragedy will banish itself to add Branded Fusion, or set Branded Fusion. Sets another one. During the end phase, Rongo Miniad has to detach a unit. Player activates Pot of Desires, banishing 10 to draw 2. Activates Magical Mallet again, sending back Ash Blossom, Called by the Grave, Triple Tactics, and Numbers Evale. Activates Left Arm Offering, discarding his entire hand to add Sail's Ban, which he will activate, declaring Rongo Miniad. So Rongo Miniad is a 3000 by 3000 that can't be destroyed by battle and is unaffected by other card effects. So Duelist B's only options are to try to swing over it, which I don't think he's going to have that many options for other than Titanic Clad, if he makes Titanic Clad bigger than Rongo Miniad. Player activates Right for Patchwork, adding Polymerization and Edge Imp Chain to hand. Then activates Branded Fusion, fusing Fallen of Albaz with Ad Libitum, making Lubellion. Lubellion will use its effect, pitching Called by the Grave to activate a fusion. Dramaturge will attempt to target Rongo Miniad, which will fizzle. Lubellion will fuse the Albion and Fallen of Albaz to make Borlode Furious Dragon. Then activate Polymerization, using Lubellion with Edge and Chain to make Predaplant Dragostapelia. Edge and Chain will add a Freight for Patchwork to hand, and they will end their turn. Going into battle, Rongo Miniad will swing over Masquerade. Passes the opponent, Masquerade will resummon itself by its own effect. Player then summons Alibra Jester, who will add Branded in red to hand. Activate Fright for Patchwork. Add Polymerization. Add another Edge Imp Chain. Passes turn. Going into battle, Rongo Miniad swings over Alibra. Passes the opponent. Despia player draws for turn. Sets 1, activates Branded in red, targeting Ad Libitum. He will then tribute 2 monsters to summon Ad Libitum, and now his monsters are bigger than the opponent's until the end of the turn. End of the opponent's turn, which lets him get a little bit of chip damage in, but not a whole lot. Rongo Miniad will then swing over Ad Libitum, and his opponent is running out of options. He activates Branded Opening, pitching Edge Imp Chain to summon out Dramaturge. Player draws Golden Moon Coin. Rongo Miniad will swing over the Borlode Furious. Opponent tried to negate Rongo Miniad with Imperm, didn't work. Player activates Branded Fusion, but will be hit by an Ash Blossom. Just flexing on him at this point. Rongo Miniad player activates Raigeki that they draw for turn. Opponent activates Dark Sacrifice, which will be negated in exchange for sending away Despian Tragedy. Tragedy was sent away, which will add another Aliber to hand. Battle phase, Rungominiad will swing over the Aliber on the field. This is almost painful to watch, partly just how long everything's taking. Despia player will set one, banish Tragedy to add Branded Fusion, activate Polymerization, fusing Dragostipelia with Dramaturge, to make Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Fusion Dragon will target the Rungominiad to gain stats. Dramaturge will activate its effect to resummon itself. Player summons Aliber, who will add a Branded Loss to hand, which will activate. Then activate Branded Fusion. Fusing Fallen of Albaz with Dramaturge. Make Brigand the Glory Dragon. Branded Lost will add Fallen of Albaz to hand. Starving Venom will swing over Rungominiad, putting him down to 300, and if he had Titanic Clad, he could have... Ooh, Rungominiad player's afraid now, turning to defense mode. Player activates Forbidden Droplet, which will not work. Passes turn. Rungominiad player has 2 more cards in his deck than the opponent. He can just wait him out. And it looks like he's going to as he passes turn. Both players do. Opponent activates Monster Reborn to bring out Mirror Jade. Rungo player sets 5 and passes. Just gonna see a whole lot of passing. Mirror Jade will banish Albion. Albion's effect will be negated by Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom will be negated by Called By. Albion sets Despia Theater the Branded, thinning out the Despia player's deck even more. Passes turn, activates Theater, sets 1. Only 4 cards left in his deck. Passing and passing. Passing. Whole lot of nothing. Random player activates Raigeki in vain. I'm amazed no one has surrendered yet. By no one, I mean the Branded player, because they're done. They've been done for a while. Branded player draws the last card in their pathetic deck. It's Feather Duster. For all the good it does them. Rungominiad player draws, summons Max C in attack mode, passes, wins due to deck out. You know what, duelists? I think I have to end it there. Because watching that match really killed the mood for me. So I have to assume it was even worse for you. And I'm sorry for that. You know, you try to provide some high tier content, just good tier content. And you end up having to watch players just draw cards off the top for 20 plus turns. Shameful. Anyway, ban Rungominiad. Shouldn't exist. That's going to be the end of this video. If you caught the stream, thanks for watching. If you're catching the replay, Thanks for that too. Goodbye.